thing that struck me first and the most was the fact that you had this big business going after this little business, and it seemed like they were trying to make an example of her, and I think that's wrong. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Casual Consumer Network. Here we go over a variety of topics in the medium of entertainment. Today, I wanted to touch on the Japanese lady who was arrested for copyright infringement for making cakes of Kimetsu no Yaiba. Before we get started, just a friendly reminder, you can reach us on our social medias, on our Instagram and our Twitter. Send us some recommendations or critiques, and if you send us an article, it might end up on one of these segments. Also, a lot of these topics that we cover, you can find at casualconsumernetwork.com, and all our sources are listed there too. All right, let's jump into it. So what I wanted to start with the actual article. So if we're going to read through it really quickly, and then, I'll give my thoughts on it. And then we're going to be taking a look at some of these websites who offer insight on what copyright law entails. So we're going to take a look at those after we go through. And we're not going to read the entire article, just where I think they have some really good information. So let's take a look real quick. And sorry about the lag. So let's start. As first reported by Kyodo News, Tokyo police in Shibuya recently arrested a 34-year-old woman for selling very impressively decorated cakes featuring characters and images from the hit anime manga series Demon Slayer via Instagram. So over the past 2 years, the amateur baker took orders on the social media platform for the desserts and generally charged somewhere between $114 and $132, making it worth her while, I assume, and all netting a whopping 6.5 million yen and $57,000 US. This is a picture of what she was doing. This is absolutely amazing. She did a fantastic job. We're going to read into, so not if, but when, as Kotaku notes, Demon Slayer is one of the most popular and profitable anime and manga series of all time, meaning that the copyright infringement is extremely frowned upon by its production company, and it was only a matter of time until it got involved. That said, it is more than happy to license out the likeness of its characters to businesses including coffee companies, and if you hit this link, it takes you to the article about the coffee company and them using like a limited time can of the anime characters, and a lot of people wanted to collect them all, but this coffee company was moving millions and millions of units of this coffee. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's so open to businesses to use the likeness of the anime when it's another big business and they stand to offer or profit a lot from the business. So that makes sense, and just it's related, but it's a quick aside. So I've been trying to get, some pictures drawn up. So a logo and things like that. I've been trying to contact people in the expertise on Instagram. I never, ever get anything back from them. So I can only imagine, if this 34-year-old Japanese lady tried to get in touch with the production company, I can expect that they probably wouldn't have taken that lady's call. But this coffee company, they probably would, because they stand to gain, tons and tons of money from it. So I think that's a little disingenuous in this article to mention that. I wanted to see what, actual lawyers had to say about this. So we'll go to, from the Purdue University Copyright Office, right? So there's a few things that I wanted to take a look at. So the legal penalties for copyright infringement. One, infringer pays the actual dollar amount of damages and profits. The law provides a range from $200,000 to $150,000 for each work infringed. So how I interpret that is that they can either go on the low end per infringement. So one cake could be from $200,000 to $150,000 if they sought to do that, right? And keep in mind, this is U.S. law. So I'm not sure how they conduct this in Japan, but we're still going to, get a general idea of what we're looking at. 3, infringer pays for all attorney's fees and court costs. The court can issue, number 4, the court can issue an injunction to stop the infringed acts, which I think would have been the more appropriate way to do this. And 5, the court can impound the illegal works, which is totally fine. And 6, the infringer can go to jail. So to go back to the article where, she was arrested and convicted of infringement law, or breaking infringement law, but it does state that they can, arrest you for this kind of thing. And next, I wanted to explain why this struck me, and I had to write this down because it helps me kind of rationalize and articulate, why I feel the way that I feel. The situation is a little different just because, one, she wasn't claiming this work for herself, which, is not covered in the infringement law, but on a moral thing, I think that kind of gives her points, right? The thing that struck me first and the most was the fact that you had this big business going after this little business, and it seemed like they were trying to make an example of her, and I think that's wrong. And the fact that they set a threshold that you can commit infringement up until you get to a certain level, and then they have to go after you. Either you're going to do it or you're not. It seems unfair that, you go to a certain threshold and then all of a sudden it's a problem. Or the fourth thing that really got me was the fact that the way they went after her was a little excessive. A cease and desist order, confiscating the product and the money that she gained from it, I think that would have been totally fine. And the concessions that I will give is it is in fact a crime. And they do state that, one of the consequences of it is possible jail time. They were well within their rights to do this. But where I fall in all this is it's important to protect people's IPs, to keep them creating great material for people to consume. And I also think there should be penalties for people who would steal those IPs. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about the infringement laws. What do you think about this particular situation? And I would really love to know, do you think my opinion is right? Do you think it's wrong? But we've got a couple videos popping up and you can check those out. You guys have a good day. Peace.